Hello, my name is Sharon Farber and I'm a massage therapist, healer, artist, and medium. This is the 10th video in my series, Everything You Want to Know About Mediumship. I often hear people say that they don't think people can learn to be mediums. They think people need to be born that way. I've been hearing that for the 6 years that I've been developing my mediumship. At the first, I didn't know if they were right or not, and I told them, I guess we'll find out. What happened was that about 10 years ago, I went and saw a medium, and I thought it was fascinating. She connected with a close friend of mine, my first dog, and I watched her create beautiful healing experiences for the other people who were in this small group circle. I found it amazing, and I invited her to my office, my massage therapy office that had an extra room for events. And she came there for a year, once a month, and gave small group readings for 6 to 8 people. I was the host, and for a year I got to get a few more connections myself and watch beautiful healing take place while this medium read for clients. I thought it was amazing, but I never tried to do it at that time. Then I massaged a man whose daughter had died recently at the age of 11. And due to the circumstances of her death, I feel like this couple had more grief, guilt, and issues with the passing than even other people who lose a child, even though it's devastating when anyone loses a child. And I thought if this couple and the man I massaged could go to a good medium, I thought it would be incredibly healing and they could get some closure and move on a little better. But at that point, there weren't that many mediums, and it just made me start thinking. Then I decided that I should become a medium if it was possible. And that's when everybody told me even more, oh, I thought you have to be born that way. People were not encouraging. I decided I would try anyway. I started reading books and learning everything I could about mediums and going to mediums. A pivotal point came on a Wednesday afternoon when I went to see Dr. Dorothy Martin Neville, who's a mentor of mine. She is a psychic, intuitive, family therapist, and these days also a coach and a speaker. But anyway, I went to see her for theoretically another issue, but the climax of the session was when I said, so Dottie, I want to become a medium, and most people say that you can't learn to be one. Dottie told me that I could. She said, if I didn't think you could do it, I would tell you. She told me to get a mentor and immerse myself in mediumship, and I was thrilled. Dottie gave me permission to become a medium. That very night, I had a massage client who I knew pretty well, and I told her how I had seen Dottie and I was excited about learning mediumship. My client offered to let me practice on her. I said, okay. And the client also told me that she had lost a friend 3 months prior to that. I gave the massage and I received some information, some images that I was hoping were her deceased friend. And after the massage, I told her about them, but they were not for her friend. But everything I told her related to her father. I told her I had an L name, I saw packs of cigarettes, many of them, I got a connection to cancer, and I saw a military uniform. She told me that her father's name was Alan with 2 L's, and yes, he smoked a lot, he passed of cancer, and the cool part, the most validating part of this tiny itty bitty reading, if you want to call it that, is that she has his military uniform and she was looking at it the day or two before I gave her this information. And the other good part about this communication was if I had picked up on her friend that passed 3 months earlier, someone could say, well, she's there thinking about her friend that passed. You picked up on what she was thinking about, but I picked up on her dad, which isn't who she was thinking about. So I realized that this little 4 pieces of information connecting to the client's deceased dad is nothing to write a book about and does not prove the validity of life after death. But for me, it was amazing. I was jumping up and down, because as far as I was concerned and my client, I had connected with her dead father. That was the catalyst for me to get really passionate about learning mediumship. I enrolled in a mediumship training program. Then I took classes with Rita Berkowitz, several beginner mediumship classes, advanced beginner. She's a fabulous teacher in the Boston area. Then I decided to go to the Arthur Findlay College in England because it's the most renowned place to learn mediumship pretty much on the planet that I'm aware of. I figured if I'm going to do this, I might as well go to the best to learn. And also, this was still the beginning. So I did think, if I'm not meant to be a medium, if I go to Arthur Findlay College, I will find that out. I went to Arthur Findlay College, and one of the things that happened there is that I had a spiritual assessment with Colin Bates, one of my tutors. And in the beginning of the assessment, one of the first things he told me is that I'd been using my mediumistic abilities for my whole life in my creative and healing capacities. And I had no idea. And he told me I was a natural medium. So go figure. I had no contact with deceased people, figured, no, I'm not a born medium. I just want to learn how to do this. He tells me I'm a natural medium. Anyway, what I took away from Arthur Findlay College was a little more confidence, knowing that I was on the right path. So I continued passionately studying mediumship. I couldn't find the right mediumship development circle to join that was local and meet my needs. So I started one in May of 2012, and it still exists right now. In May of this year, we'll have been sitting together for 5 years. In massage school, which was very structured, we did logs. We did probably 100 massages, and you did them for free, and people gave you feedback, and you wrote them up. So that's what I did with my mediumship. I did 100 free readings, and I took notes, and I got feedback from people to see how well I did, and I wrote them up. After that, I did some free small group readings. Then I tried some not quite free readings. That's another story that didn't go over so well. And the bottom line is, by going to classes, doing exercises, passionately pursuing my mediumship development, I became a medium. Currently, I give readings and get a very high percentage of accurate evidential evidence. I know, evidential evidence. I give accurate readings with evidence that give people enough reason to know that their loved ones in spirit are still with them. I teach beginner mediumship class, which I find very fulfilling, especially when I can teach people like myself who didn't know that they could become mediums. And I'm writing a book called How to Become a Medium When You're Not Born That Way, or Are You? I want the aha moment for this video and the book I'm reading is to teach people who are fascinated with mediumship, find it thrilling and exciting, but never dreamed that they could do it also, and let them know that if you have the desire to learn mediumship, I think there's a really good chance that you can do it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, which might be, what is a born medium? Thank you so much.